Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Talk Podcast. Now today, JJ has a lot of stuff prepared about one of his favorite games, which is Dungeons and Dragons, which he got me to play lately. Matter of fact, at one of our barbecue events with 4 people, and we played for about 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Straight. And I was just surprised by everything. It's just completely new to me. So this is going to be the first topic, and it's also going to be the second topic, but this is going to be a bit different relating to my character because I'm really new to the whole thing. So I'm going to find out a bunch of stuff. So what's going to be the first one now?
Well, the first topic is mostly about the fact that you have played it now.
I've played it.
And there's a few things that I wanted to ask you, and also just generally to see your experience with it. But first of all, probably one of the more important things. You remember how somewhat recently we had a topic where I tried to explain it to you?
Yes.
Now that you actually know how it plays, did I do a good job of explaining it?
So what you explained most of was still the classes, I feel like, when we're doing this in the podcast. So you're talking about different classes, what they do.
Well, yeah, because that's a big part of what you do. It's at the beginning and selection.
Yeah, right.
And then you started asking questions like, oh, what's the difference between the sorcerer and the wizard? And of course I answered those.
Exactly. Also, our character creation took like 3 hours.
That's not entirely true.
It took like 3 hours. That's probably true. Which was in part related to...
It might have taken 1 or 2 hours, but yeah.
It's more related to our buddy Joe having to go home to get character sheets.
Oh, you counted that as part of the character creation.
And also go stop by the grocery store, purchase ice cream.
You counted that as part of the character creation in that case, of course.
Well, the rest of it...
might have just been 3
the
hours.
actual active creation was like 2 hours. I will give you that. But yeah, so that happened. And you told me that the dice rolling is basically used mostly for attacking. Or to do some type of action.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen as much as I thought it would. But still happens quite a lot. Because sometimes I felt like the guy was just making something up. Like, okay, you know what? You've got to roll a dice for that. Is that true, or is that all in the book?
Well, it's not necessarily all in the book because they oftentimes only specify that for very important things or very specific things.
Yeah.
Like if you want to pick a lock on a door,
right?
There's usually a number where it's like, oh yeah, roll your thieves' tools, which none of us have, and then see if you can beat this number.
Right.
And sometimes when it's like, oh yeah, in this room there is the big bad, and then if you want to listen on the door, you need to roll this much to hear that he's in there, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But a lot of it is just the DM being like, okay, if you want to do this, roll for it and see if it works. Because,
like, I remember one situation when it was you and Darren, I believe. So Darren decided to go somewhere else with his character, and then only the both of us got information. And then you try to tell him that that's not true or something like that, and then the dungeon master like, okay, you don't want to believe it, or you want to be convincing. Roll the dice and see if that's convincing.
Yeah. So that was actually, we were told by the quest giver that we were gonna get 120 gold if we get his children.
Yeah.
He
said a hundo, but then we negotiated up to 120.
Yeah, and I actually told Darren that it was only 60.
Exactly, because we want to give the boss anything.
Well, of course, he was sitting at the table while that happened, but...
Yeah, of course, but not in the game.
Not in character.
In the game, he was going to some kind of church or something like that.
Yeah, he was going to, like, a shrine.
Yeah, because he's a cleric.
Because he's... And he plays it like he's a Catholic priest.
He does, right? He literally starts talking religious stuff. It's crazy.
It's kind of funny.
So it didn't work out.
So, basically, the DM had me roll deception versus his insight.
Right.
To see if he could spot my bluff.
Right. And I think he did.
Yeah. Which is a relatively normal thing. I'm still kind of sad that it didn't work. I mean, yes, he's a cleric. Wisdom's one of his key stats. Yeah. Which I think insight is based on. But I'm a bard! Deception is my thing! I got like a +5 on deception.
Apparently. So, yeah, you were a bard. Which I feel like that class was... I don't know if that's useful for anything, but I feel like it was not useful to anything. You said in the beginning that you were like, I'm going to do the fighting because I was a fighter. I'm going to do the attacking and all that, and you're going to buff me up, and he's going to heal me.
To be fair...
all you did was basically go unconscious.
First of all, they've had me laying unconscious in a room till I naturally regained a hit point instead of healing me.
Yeah.
which they could have done.
Because the guy Darren wanted to save a spell or something like that.
Yeah.
He just ran out into the next chamber and picked up some kind of enchanted object that made me go crazy and fall into a trap. And then he just ventured off by himself.
And also, I admit that the whole me being somewhat useless in some situations totally was my fault because
very much useless.
That may or may not have been the first time that I played. Well, it was the first time I played a bard. Okay.
Okay.
It was the first time I actually played as a player to be at all. So, and I was kind of trying to focus on you guys not missing anything as well because you are new to the game. So
I played it for the first time too.
So I might have forgotten that I have bardic inspiration that I could have used to buff you guys.
And you never did that.
So I only used my rapier and my spells.
Right. I still one-shot all the rats.
Yeah.
Because I'm that damn good, apparently. So what else did you want to ask me?
Oh yeah, just the general stuff, like...
Yeah.
How much fun was it? Was it anything... Well, I kind of asked how it was different from how you expected it, that kind of stuff.
It's kind of an on and off type of thing. It's at some points it's very interesting when it's involving you, but it's a tedious game in and of itself because there's parts where you got nothing to do for like 10 to 20 minutes. Like you're doing nothing.
That can definitely happen, yeah. Which in part was, to be fair, because we I think I know exactly one of the two things you're definitely thinking of is the throne room. When
yeah.
There was for
people just kicked me out.
For context, we're playing Son of Citadel. I have not read The Adventurer, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a throne room for the kobolds, and basically
they're all bastards anyway.
Alex just pulled his weapon on them.
Yeah, I had my weapon on me at all times. Yeah, and I didn't like it, and they kicked me out. So
they
like
didn't like that, and so while I was trying to defuse the situation, they basically had him in a room next door.
Yeah, they just
where he wasn't doing anything for
exactly
IRL probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, and the other part was when we actually both were unconscious.
Yeah,
you in some type of room because you got hit, I think, and I in that trap because I took like 7 fall damage. And Darren was just walking around with that orb trying to get rid of everybody.
I think technically you weren't unconscious. I think you were at 1 hit point.
Oh, possible.
But the trap closed.
The trap closed up on me, yeah.
And so
I couldn't get out until someone got back there.
That was... Yeah, which those situations normally don't happen. Because normally when someone goes unconscious, and now the person just heals them back up.
Alright.
Which, first of all, I admit healing is somewhat limited at low levels.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of an asshole move to...
Right, Darren could have done that. I couldn't have healed you, is the thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
So what was I supposed to do? He wanted to save something to move to the next room.
So that was partially because of the entire situations, how that came up.
Yeah.
But of course, it can always happen that you are not in the focus for a few minutes. And then, of course, one thing that I noticed was kind of tedious was the character creation.
Of course, because we don't know anything about that.
Which, it's tough to create characters with players who've never played.
Yeah. I still don't get why it takes that long.
A lot of people would use pre-gens, but I generally don't like that, and apparently Joe didn't either. So we actually built characters, and we only had one player's handbook.
True.
So... Yeah, that was kind of a process.
So basically every single character is completely unique?
Yes. Generally, yes. You could, theoretically speaking, there's probably been 2 characters that have been the same at one point or another. Especially the characters you are playing have probably happened similarly before. The same for the one I'm playing at this point. Yeah. Because, first of all, level 1 characters, of course, are more common.
Yeah, they have less of a pool to select from, right?
Yeah, they have, and of course, a lot of games start at low levels, so there's not that many level 20 characters out there because most people start playing before then. And we picked a lot of very basic choices because basically what we did was we asked you guys what you wanted to play.
Fighter. And
you were like, okay, out of those classes and races, human fighter.
Human fighter. I'm a human, first of all, in real life. And, I I don't know if I'm a fighter per se, but probably closest to one.
Well, you're definitely not a wizard, that's for sure.
Probably not a wizard.
And also not a cleric.
Nope, not a cleric.
So we then basically selected the other choices mostly for you. Like we said that you were a variant human.
Yeah.
Which is just basically saying that you're the better version of humans that exist in the game.
Is there a worse version?
Well, from like an in-game logic standpoint, they are the same.
Alright.
But there's two different rules options if you want to play as a human. One, you get +1 to all your stats.
Alright.
And that's basically it. I'm not sure. It might be that you're also getting like a bonus skill or something.
Okay.
And then the other one is where you get +1 to 2 different stats and you get a feat.
Okay, and that's better?
That's better because first it sounds really great. Oh yeah, I get +1 to every stat, but all the others just get like a +2 and a +1.
Exactly.
But you don't need charisma.
Yeah.
You don't really need intelligence. You don't really need wisdom.
True.
Dexterity, you also don't need that much. So basically, you only need 2 stats.
Yeah, strength.
And constitution.
And constitution.
So, when you only need 2 stats, there's no reason to get buffs to the others.
True.
And the feat, we actually selected for you as well, which was Great Weapon Master, I believe it's called.
Was that let me attack again?
So yeah, when you KO someone, or when you
critical hit
someone, then you can, as a bonus action, attack again.
I did it a few times. That came in handy.
And also you can, on an attack roll, you can take a -5 to hit, to then get +10 to damage.
I've never did that.
Which we haven't done.
I saw that on the character sheet, but I never did that.
But to be fair, you only get a +5 attack bonus anyways, and with enemies having ACs that are probably somewhere between 10 and 14, that's not always the best option to take. That definitely comes in handy at higher levels, when you're facing like a lot of smaller enemies as opposed to one big one.
Alright.
And then it's like, oh yeah, like, or if you're fighting zombies. That's just generally.
Zombies happen in that game too?
Yeah. And they have an armor class of 8, meaning if you roll
a 3, I'll hit them.
Exactly, on a 3 you'll hit them. And if you choose to take the -5, then on an 8 or better you'll still hit them.
Which is still more than 50%.
Yeah. Right. So, what was it? It's like 56% or something.
How come zombies are worse at defending themselves than rats? That's weird.
The zombies are rather slow, is the thing.
Okay, so
that's generally the factor, because speed is a factor and then armor is a factor.
Yeah.
None of them are wearing armor, and speed is in that case the...
Well, rats are, I would assume, are pretty elusive.
Yeah. So that's... It's also the thing for armor class. Like, you have a 16 armor class, because you have armor that gives you a 16 armor class. Yeah. I've got a 14 armor class, because I've got an armor that gives me 11 plus my dexterity modifier, which is 3.
So that's the threshold from where you're gonna get damage.
When the attack roll is hit, and it is higher or equal to the armor class, then you can roll damage.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said.
There's no... Yeah, but other games have it where it's like damage reduction or something like that. There's none like that.
Yeah, that's the threshold. Okay. So one thing that I've noticed is that we played for like 8 hours, and we didn't even encounter a dragon or the dragon, nor did we enter a dungeon. Even though that's the full name of the game. Music reference.
Well, so, first of all...
Well, there was talk of a dragon, but we didn't never see it.
Exactly. There was the dragon that we have not yet encountered, and there is the Sunless Citadel, which, while technically only being like a manor or something like that, would be, in game terms, definitely be considered a dungeon.
Okay, so that is a dungeon.
Although it is maybe not a dungeon in the very typical sense, where it's like an underground complex.
Just a mansion.
But...
Just a big-ass house.
The way it's built, and also the way the map looks, it definitely is, for all intents and purposes, a dungeon.
Alright. So, but we didn't meet the dragon yet.
We didn't meet the dragon. There supposedly is a dragon there, a white wormling.
Right.
And there were kobolds, which have some degree of dragon blood in them.
And goblins, right?
Yeah, but they don't have anything to do with dragons.
Yeah, we didn't meet them yet.
They're just little bastards. I think we killed 2 of them.
The goblin? Yeah, right, at the very end before we start playing.
So, here's something crazy that happened as well.
There was one little bastard kobold who was following people around and just crying and being a little bitch.
I like him.
I put a booger in his hair.
He doesn't have hair.
I put it on his head.
So, here's actually what happened. You mentioned it a bit before, the orb.
Yes.
So there is this orb in there that apparently makes people run away if they fail a wisdom save.
True.
So our cleric decides, hey,
I'm going to pick this up and put it in my backpack.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, hey, it makes people run away. And
I could just run into the goblins with that.
And apparently people repeatedly fail their save, so he just runs back in. And while the two of us are standing next to the door, just waiting for people to come out and just...
We're basically standing outside the building, just waiting for all kinds of rats and goblins and everything to come sprinting out just to catch him there, hit him, and knock him into the trapdoor.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do. And he was just running down mazes and corridors and just all kinds of rats and everything passing by and running for the exit. Because conveniently, everyone affected by that thing would also exit the building.
Yeah, so...
And I basically run to that trapdoor.
The DM took the item description very literally, so he decided that it says they're gonna move to this specific area, so they're gonna move to this specific area.
Alright.
I'm not sure if it was intended that way, because I think it might just be like, oh yeah, you try to run away. So for us it would be like, oh yeah, we came from the town, so it would make sense to run towards the outside.
Yeah.
Maybe for the rats it would logically make more sense if they were, instead of running out, they would run back into wherever they're hiding within the manor.
Yeah.
But of course, the item said they're running out through the front door.
So it's got to be this one specific place.
So,
right,
so he was like,
right in the front of the yard.
They're running exactly to that place because the book says so.
Sure.
And so we're just standing there being like, stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, exactly. We're just waiting for folks to catch him and just knock him down there.
Mind you, during that whole period of time, I'm still at 1 hit point.
All kinds of rats died.
Because we use all our hit dice and all our spell slots.
So you basically had no way to heal yourself.
No.
Well, I can't do that anyway, right? Well, I could do the one thing that I did.
You can heal yourself, yeah, but you can't heal us.
Yeah, that's true.
So... that was a thing. Technically, we're still in the middle of that combat because at some point you were just like, we gotta stop this.
It's 4 a.m. I got to play football tomorrow. Let's leave.
So we actually ended in the middle of combat because combat basically is the entire dungeon at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there round upon round just being like, oh yeah, I'm at 1 hit point. Trying my hardest to not get killed.
Move somewhere.
Viciously mocking rats.
Rats. You taunted them to death.
Yeah, because there is this bard cantrip called Vicious Mockery. And if they fail their saving throw, they not only take damage, but they also have disadvantage on the next attack.
Do they take emotional damage?
They take psychic damage.
Okay.
Which I guess would, in that case, be kind of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just, they have disadvantage on the next attack, so I was like, I can't get hit, because once I get hit, I go unconscious.
Alright.
Once I go unconscious and I'm alone with the enemies, they're gonna kill me.
They're gonna kill you.
I mean, I'm the fastest one at building characters because I know the game, so that would be the biggest problem.
But next time when we're playing, I don't need to create another character. We can start from there.
Of course.
And if someone else decides to join the game, like if someone else would be around for that barbecue, they could just join in and just show up.
Yeah, so I've said that before. If a new player joins in, there's basically 2 ways to handle that. Either they just appear out of thin air, or there is a story reason why they're there.
Well, they could just build it in from the stories, like, oh, all of a sudden, this wizard shows up around the corner, and he's there, and you have a little talk, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna join y'all.
So I think this is gonna go one of 2 ways if someone new shows up, and that's either A, they were held captive within the dungeon.
Yeah.
Because it's a trope, a generally easy trope to introduce a character, because like, oh yeah, they were there all along.
Yeah.
Their equipment is 1 room over. Go pick it up.
Yes.
Now you have your full character.
Yeah.
Or they literally just show up, which is, I think, how it's probably going to run in the long run if we keep this going for a while. Because, classically speaking, our barbecues, while there is a few people that are there most of the time, a lot of people are only there every now and again.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be that characters appear and disappear at random.
Probably.
As the people are there.
That's gonna be kind of, those 4 people are probably gonna be kind of the core of that game.
Yeah. It's good that the person who's DMing this is one of the people that's
Always
there most of the time.
Yeah. And so are you. Yeah, you're always there too.
Which is also pretty good, because I am probably the person who knows most about the game.
Like, if I was alone there with, say, like Darren and Bob and Kathy or something like that, I don't know what we're doing. Because we can't play it without Joe.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll see how it works out, man.
We did barbecues before we played D&D.
Way before, because we played all kinds of things already.
Yeah, so...
But then we'd have to put that game on hold.
Yeah.
But yeah. But whenever we do the next one and those 4 people are together, we're gonna resume the game. I would assume that.
Yeah.
And see how that works. So in the second topic, you got some more about this, or do you have some more right now?
Well, right now... Oh yeah, there's actually 2 things that I want to mention. I did take notes for this topic, believe it or not. And my notes say, doors, orb. We talked about the orb already.
We were talking about the orb. Doors. Oh yeah, doors. I have my way of handling doors, alright?
Yeah. That tells you a lot about Alex.
Yeah.
So, we get to the dungeon. We get to the entrance door.
Mm-hmm.
And the DM's like, oh yeah, so you're in front of the door. What do you want to do?
Smash it in.
And Alex is like, I take out my axe and I smash in the door.
Yeah.
I'm like...
And I punch holes in the door, and JJ's just there turning the doorknob.
And like, while he's trying to swing, I just try to open it using the doorknob.
Yeah. And it opens.
And the door just opened.
But how am I supposed to expect that? I don't know that. Typically, when I'm doing an adventure and there's a door that's going to lead me to whatever the whole thing is going to be about, then I'm assuming that door is going to be locked.
Yeah, I think you...
So it wasn't.
Had that same problem in the real life at one point.
I did that door was locked.
Yeah.
Bums wouldn't let me in. I ran in the door. It happened. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now. It's been in the past. We got it fixed.
And the other one, which is not quite as funny, but I just wanted to quickly mention because, is that you actually ended up destroying a door with your axe.
Yes.
That was supposed to be made of stone.
Oh yeah, but he noticed it too late.
But he didn't realize it, so he was like, you already destroyed the door by now, so we'll just say it was always wood.
Was that in the room where you opened the kettle and some Keening Banshee came out?
It wasn't a banshee.
Okay, but it was
The
something
distinction has to be made because there are banshees.
Alright, oh, okay.
And they are a bit above our level. There was methods in there. So, yeah, we killed a method.
Yeah,
which
destroyed it.
Apparently we could have talked to, but none of us spoke Aquan. And then Alex just attacked it.
Yeah.
Unprovoked, might I add.
What do you mean some dude just came out of a kettle that was supposed to be nothing in there. There's like a weird figure standing there. Of course I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna make a swing. Why would I not do that? I would have also killed so Darren went into the other room, right, finding that kobold.
Yeah.
If I was in Darren's place, alone in that room, I would have taken a swing right away.
I know you would have.
Yeah. Like, that's what it's about, right? There's lost people in there. So we take everything out.
I feel like half of the game was you being an asshole to people and me trying to defuse the situation.
Yeah, that was most of the game, actually. But that's how, I get that how it works. That's
how good that I ended up playing the party face with a high charisma.
But that's how I do. That's how a fighter would do that, right? I'm a soldier.
So
I don't sing songs in the tavern to get people to give me a free meal. I arm wrestle.
You actually kind of fit this cliche of the 6 intelligence barbarian, despite being like a 12 intelligence fighter.
Yeah, but it works. I would argue I killed more enemies than all of you combined. Like the first 3 rats, I killed them all by myself.
Well, at this point, I just might be tied with you because at some point during us standing at the door, you just started running away.
Yeah. And
I just kept killing things that came out of the door.
Okay, at that point, we can we can't count on them because we started working together. Because Darren was pushing him out of there and we were knocking him down. But other than that, that's what I do, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, anyway, second topic is going to be...
I actually ended up burning both of my spells trying to be social towards kobolds.
Why would you even do that?
Because I burned Healing Word on Meepo. I think that was his name.
Meepo, yep.
And to make him like us. And then I used...
Meepo's a bastard.
What's it called? The one that manipulates people.
I don't know. Manipulation.
Someone's called. Anyways, Charm Person, that's what it was.
Alright.
And I actually cast Charm Person on you when you were being all aggressive in the throne room.
Right, but it didn't work, did it?
You just passed your saving throw by hitting exactly 13.
Exactly.
Which is my spell
Why would
efficiency,
you
of course.
even try to cast spells on me? That's stupid. We're in a team, man. And they kicked me out of the room anyway.
Yeah.
And, okay, so second topic is going
Well,
to
they
be
wouldn't
about...
have kicked you out if I had successfully charmed you, because I would have just made you kneel down and put your weapon away.
Second topic is going to be about my character. Something like that, some further development. Halftime show. I like that one. I'm excited about this one. It's a Hearthstone quiz, but it's a bit different. It's not the same as I always do. It's like, oh yeah, how many cards have the word Doom in them?
Yes, there's a lot.
It's pretty creative questions. It's kind of a puzzly type of thing. Some of them are harder, some are easier. So I only got 5, but there's a bit more details. So I'm going to start reading them out, and you'll see what you can do with that. So the first one is, assuming you have Malagos and Prophet Velen on the board, in that order. First play Malagos, then play Velen, and then you play Mind Blast. How much damage does it do?
I wonder if the order even matters in which you play them.
Malagos, Velen, Mind Blast.
Well, I mean, you'd think that Malagos adds 5 and then Velen doubles, so it would be 20, right?
It is 20.
Yeah.
So the options would have been like, does it do 10? Does only Velen count? Does only Malagos count? Is it Velen first, then plus 5?
It is very... I was 100% sure that both count. The question was just in which order.
Exactly.
So it would have been 20 or 15.
It's 20.
But it's 20. I thought so.
Okay, second one.
But does the order in which you play them actually matter?
No.
Because you put that specifically
I
there.
put that specific... It doesn't matter at all. It's always the same.
That's what I thought.
Alright. That's actually how the Big Priest with the Malagos Velen combination works. They just Spellstone, Mind Blast, and Holy Smite. That's exactly 10 mana, and it's... it's 34 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
so
that's 2 plus 5 times 2 and 5 plus 5 times 2.
Spellstones have had a lot of these one turn lethal, like from 30 down. Shaman does it too.
Oh god, the fucking Frost, what is it? What do they call the Frost Fury Giant or some shit like that? Snow Fury Giant.
Snow Fury Giant. That's for overloaded crystals, right?
Yeah. Because they play him and then they just spellstone them all over. I know there's a different one, but
Shaman does a thing where it's like the 1 minion that as a death rattle recruits at 8 mana. And when it's their turn, they run into something, kill it. It pulls Alakir the Windlord. They greater spellstone it, and it's 4 attack minions with Wind Fury.
Okay, I know there was one with Snow Fury Giants as well that they ran right when the expansion hit.
That also works, yeah.
Which is really frustrating because...
That's all kinds of giants.
First of all...
Always have a Twisting Nether. Always.
The overload combos are strong on their own right. When you can use like Lava Burst to unlock them again, and you can use it to buff the Trogs and that kind of shit. And then they just start spamming those fucking things. It's like, oh yeah, I play 1 Snow Fury Giant, and then a Spellstone it.
That's 4.
Okay, I clear a board. I play the other Giant and Spellstone.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I always have 2 Twisting Nethers. Next one. Your opponent plays a Spellbreaker and silences any type of character. Let's say a Cube or Void Lord or whatever.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Do you even play Cubes and Void Lords?
No, but I have played things that have been very bad to be silenced. Yeah.
Okay, so if you then, at the point where the silenced minion and the opponent's Spellbreaker that's silenced are both still on the board, play a Spellbreaker or any silence effect yourself on that Spellbreaker. Will your minion then be unsilenced again?
No.
It will not. I thought maybe I could make you think for a minute there.
No, I thought when you said it, I was like, is he gonna ask if you can still buff him? Because I know for a fact that
of course you can buff him. That's what else. Maybe the Spellbreaker's effect would then be silenced. So, but they don't. But it's not imposed. So
it's not a passive effect. It's a battle cry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Once it happened, it happened.
Exactly. Alright, so next
As a matter
one.
of fact, even if it gets sniped or something like that,
Yeah,
or potion or polymorph or something like that,
happens.
it still works.
True. So the next one is one that we have talked about before, but I don't think we ever came to a solution. What if you played a Wax Rager and then someone defiled? Wax Rager is a 5/1 that as a death roller resummons itself.
Yeah.
This same dilemma also works with, I want to say it's called the Grim Patron, that when it survives damage summons a copy of itself. And it's a 3/3.
I'm not sure if it happens with patrons. Let me think. If you do, oh yeah, because they summon 3 patrons at most, and at least 1 dies each time, right? So there's always space on the board, and then another. Yeah, I was thinking for a second there if Grim Patrons could actually cause infinity, but
let's just
they
say
only scale exponentially to a point, and then
to make it
dying.
easier, let's just go with the Wax Rager. What happens? How does the situation play out?
Well, normally I would say the game gets stuck in an infinite loop.
All right.
But because they fixed Dreadsteed to be summoned at the end of the turn instead of instantly, because they knew exactly that was going to be a problem, I don't think that it would be too stupid to realize that, so there's probably some kind of workaround. I'm just gonna guess that, and that's, again, a pure guess, that the Wax Rager's death does not count for the file.
Okay. The answer to that is that actually the card Defile has a hard cap at 14. It can only recast itself 13 times.
Okay.
Then it's over.
That's interesting.
Just to avoid stuff like that. So you can only get 14 Defiles.
That actually makes a lot of sense in that if they had changed the Rager to be specifically excluded, it would look weird when you have a 1, a 2, and a 3. The 1 is the Rager, and it just doesn't work.
Exactly.
And you would have to be very specific about the Rager, and then when a new card is introduced, you would have the same problem again. By hard capping the limit for the Defile, you're basically completely avoiding the problem.
Right.
Except that... Wait. Oh, yeah, it's... Because it can never... well, technically you could set up a bigger Defile if Defile was working that way, but that's tough. Because you would need to evolve Death Rattles for that to actually defile 1 at 14. Because if you set up a board that's perfectly 1 to 14, and then the minion has 14 as a Death Rattle that summons a minion, and that has 1 health again, theoretically could defile 15 times if it weren't capped.
Yes, right.
But that will never ever come up.
Correct.
So yeah, that's fine.
Maybe you could get... No, that doesn't work. That's stupid. Yeah. That's how it works. So, what was I saying? Yeah, it doesn't happen that much in dungeon runs. I think, isn't the only Warlock enemy the Darkness anyway?
I was about to say, can you even get Defile?
You can get Defile as a Warlock when you play it.
Yeah, so that won't be enough. You can also get the Vex.
Yeah, of course, but it doesn't happen that much. And why would you do it then? Well, you're not gonna play it, aside from you want to know what happens.
Wax Rager Defile would be the perfect board clear.
Yes.
That's why you play it. Because it would still trigger 14 times.
It would do the thing 14 times. That's
so
true.
you can clear the entire board.
But I don't think it happens that much.
It's basically like playing Wax Rager and then playing Twisting Nether.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one, right? Here's a riddle that... This is one I'm proud of, right? I made this up completely by myself. I actually came up with this. So I hope I can get it together once the solution comes up. So the scenario is you are challenged to, after the end of the second turn, you need to have on the board a 6/6, an 8/8, a 10/10, and a 12/12. How do you do it?
At the end of the second turn?
At the end of the second round, second turn. 6/6, 8/8, 10/10, 12/12. Completely made up by myself. Hope it works. I'm not 99.78% sure it works. I might have missed a little thing, but I think it works.
Why do I have a feeling this involves Druid?
Doesn't involve Druid.
This will be a thing that kind of makes sense for like a Jade Druid and then some buffs on top of that.
Okay, so how are you gonna do it?
But honestly, I've got no clue. What was the thing again?
A 6/6, an 8/8, 10/10, and a 12/12.
Well, so the 12/12. Oh god, that's already pretty high. You couldn't. I don't think you could possibly shuffle that many Jade Idols through a deck because you would need an Auctioneer and something that makes them free Which, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And you can only have those.
You could...
Well, you could technically have others, but that's how it works. Oh yeah, also added, you should also at that point have a weapon in your hand.
Alright.
Yeah. All that and a weapon equipped.
So...
Just for some extra difficulty.
There is Silverhand recruits.
There is Silverhand recruits.
There is a lot of buffs.
There might be several ways to do this. I got one specific way that I have envisioned.
There is several buffs for the recruits. But again, pulling all of that off in, 2 turns?
Yes. Including your opponent's turn.
Does your opponent actively have to help you for
yes.
this work?
For this one, yes.
Okay, that is a big one, definitely. I could see the 10-10 be a what's his name? Yasharaj?
Yeah.
And then the 12-12 could have been pulled by Yasharaj, theoretically.
Yeah.
Then you would have to somehow get Yasharaj in the first place, though. Honestly, as much as I want to speculate, that I only get, like, an idea how you could get some of them, but I can never get the whole picture.
Okay, so the idea is you're playing as rogue.
Yes.
I don't think it matters what your opponent plays. You go first. Your starting hand is double counterfeit coin, Edwin Van Cleave, and Yasharaj. You double counterfeit coin, Edwin for 6/6.
Yes.
Your opponent coins out a dirty rat, pulling the Yasharaj.
Yeah.
The Yasharaj then pulls out, I believe pulls out the Deathwing, which I believe is the only neutral 12/12. Tyrantus is a Druid card.
That might be the case.
You draw as your
It doesn't matter as long as one exists.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Next card, you draw a Lich King, whatever 8/8 you want. Equip your weapon, and your opponent plays a second dirty rat to pull out the Lich King, and that's it.
Oh yeah, okay, fair.
That's how I.
The dirty rats, yeah.
Dirty rats. That's how I made that up. The weapon I just added on top because like you don't even do anything on your second turn.
Yeah.
Because you can only wait for 30 rats. So that's how that would work.
Well, technically, I believe you said at the end of your second turn.
At the end of the second turn.
Oh, because I was about to say.
Or I said the second round, I believe.
Because the second dirty rat wouldn't have come up until the opponent's turn, but yeah.
It involves the second opponent's turn. But that will be the way.
Yeah, that definitely works.
And the last one, because this is already pretty close to lethal, but it doesn't quite work because dirty rats are taunt. So then give me a way for a rogue to have lethal on turn 2 with your opponent doing nothing.
Turn 2 lethal.
As a rogue.
As a rogue.
I got one specific way written down. Yeah. You can pick if you go first, go second, it doesn't matter.
I can't see this work out with weapon buffs as much as I wanted to.
Alright.
There is charge shenanigans. But again, I don't see that going that high. Because, of course, you can be like, oh, South-Sea Shadow Steps.
Maybe you were thinking about something like
like
Sonya Shadow Dancer and then repeat charge or something like that, but it don't die if you run him in the face.
No, I was thinking about the 2-1 that has the South-Sea Deckhand. I was thinking about him, and then Shadow Stepping him, but
Shadow Step him more.
But you can Shadow Step him twice.
Yes.
And then you can play a second one because I think he's only like 1 mana.
And you need a weapon to give him charge.
Yeah, which could have coined out with a hero power on your first turn.
Yeah.
So, but then that still is with double Shadow Steps and double of those guys. It's still like 4 of them, which is like 8 damage.
Yeah.
Which is not even close to lethal. You could definitely do some shenanigans with Obsidian Shard to make it free, but again, that doesn't really help you.
It's interesting. I like these puzzles. I like it.
Does it involve any like ultra crazy RNG pulls from like something like Swashbuckler or something where you need an opponent's card for that?
No. You need you need the perfect hand for yourself, but it can be done with pretty basic cards. There's no crazy like obscure legends or random pulls or something like that. You just need a perfect starting hand.
Wait, oh god. Is that some kind of crazy Edwin combo? Because with like coin, prep, coin, prep. There's a lot of zero amount of stuff you can do.
No.
So if you turn 1, you could just ramp your mana up basically.
Yes.
You could play some other cards because you can have preps.
Yeah. Well, you don't have that many cards. You only got like 5 cards?
Yes.
6 cards maybe. You only draw one at the beginning of the turn.
But
there could be coin, 2 counterfeit coins, and a prep and an admin.
And then you can prep into a Thistle Tea, and Thistle Tea's too expensive.
But that's a full hand. That's a full hand. So you get 1 card.
Yeah, but the point is you can have card draw.
Oh yeah, Mimic Pod. Maybe there's something. I don't know.
There might be some kind of crazy Mimic Pod.
Get a 30/30 admin in the beginning.
Advent, yeah, exactly. Got a crazy Advent on turn 1, you have lethal on turn 2.
That might be possible. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm going to tell you mine.
Yeah, sure.
So the thing is, turn 1 you're going to play the Young Dragonhawk. 1/1 Wind Fury.
Yeah.
Opponent does nothing.
Okay, fair. That one has Wind Fury. That's already a big thing.
So turn 2 is going to be Abusive Sergeant. Gives it +2 attack.
Yes.
Shadow Step the Sergeant twice.
Yes, gives it +6 attack, so it's 7.
So it's at 7 attack, and then Cold Blood 2 times. Because you already got combos.
Yes, so it gives it +4 each time, right? So it gives it +8, so that's 15, which
15.
is exactly lethal.
And Wind Fury.
So when you played double that, you played the Hawk, you played double...
You're going to need the coin on turn 2.
So wait.
The Sergeant is 1 mana, and
Yeah.
both Cold Bloods are also 1 mana. So we need the coin for 3.
There's 3
The
cards.
Shadow Steps and
the 2 Shadow Steps.
The following Sergeants are all free.
And the Dragon Hawk, which is 6 cards. You start with 4, you draw 2 in total. That totally works.
It works. So you got Dragonhawk, you got Sergeant, double Shadow Step in the beginning, and the coin. And you just draw into double Cold Blood while you're at it.
I could legitimately see someone try to pull this off.
Yeah.
Because...
We should make a challenge video of that sometime.
Because turn 1 Dragonhawk isn't that tough.
No.
It has a good chance of surviving. After that, you just need to pull your shit.
Yeah.
And as I pointed out, there is some with card draw and preparation and that kind of stuff. You could have some flexibility with your starting hand to be like, oh yeah, I didn't draw my Cold Bloods, but I can preparation into a Mimic Pod, and oh look, there's a Cold Bloods.
There's possibly stuff there.
With preparation Mimic Pod, I believe Mimic Pod is like 2, preparation makes it 3
We could make that a deck archetype and call it the Blitz Rogue, which aims to kill you in like maximum of 2 or 3 turns.
It basically loses by default to Rogue and Mage if they see it coming.
Or Druid.
Or Druid, yeah. Those 3 can definitely kill it. There is other classes that can just put up a taunt.
Yeah.
Or use a spell. But those 3 can just hero power it.
Warrior doesn't die if your armor's up. And it goes on the 2
Fair.
health.
But being at 2 health at turn 3 still is tough.
Not great.
Because at that point you can just start hat cracking or something like that.
Or just daggering it.
Daggering is a problem though, because you can armor up every single turn.
Armor up, that's true.
But yeah.
Hat crack plus dagger.
Again, he's at 2 health.
Exactly.
You're at a huge advantage now.
Exactly. So if you know any other solutions to the problem that I've posted, all of them, let us know in the comments. I like those. Those are fun. Those like puzzles.
Also, that we should try something like that.
As a challenge?
Because the Edwin solution I suggested uses a lot of the cards that I also suggested to expand yours if you don't draw the exact hand. Meaning you could probably try building something that uses both ways and then tries to set up the thing.
Yeah, you could put preparations, Mimic Pod, Shadow Steps, Counterfeit Coins, the Advin, the Abusive Sword, 2 Sergeants, 2 Dragonhawks.
Yeah.
Build a whole deck around that.
Probably put some Biteweeds in case you're
not getting your Advin.
In case your 1-turn combo doesn't work, you can at least put some huge Biteweeds out, like
Adwin,
turn 2, and then you are not instant winning, but you're still getting a lot of value.
Yeah. That's actually interesting. We should do more challenge videos anyway.
We might have just invented a deck archetype, man.
Yeah.
Although
Blitz Rogue.
Mimic Rogue is Angoro. A lot of the other stuff is classic. That could work.
We need to get on that, man. Do you have an admin?
I do not. Do you?
No.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh no, you always said you wanted one. That's
I said I wanted one, but then the Kingsbane meta kind of switched to not running Edit anymore, and the Tempo Rogue is dead and buried.
Yeah, of course.
So I didn't need one. I messaged you to tell you to use the Blood of the Ancient one in the Big Priest, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's still tough because I get the idea of like, oh yeah, you can get 2 of them on the board. Someone easily with like stuff like Eternal Servitude and Spellstone. Yeah. Spellstone can only give you 1 though.
Oh right, different ones, yeah.
So you would have to still have 1 on the board,
and it's still a 9/9.
Yeah, of course, it's not a bad
great
thing. You could either. Also, the interesting thing is you could get it through Barnes, theoretically, which already, theoretically, you could get, from Barnes, you could get Yasharaj into, probably to be safe for another Yasharaj, and then into two Bloods, and then... Yeah. But
the next turn. It's possible, man. Oh, wait, is it possible, though? Because the Yasharaj effect also triggers at the end of the turn. So does the fusion to the Ancient One still happens?
No, it does not. Because if you pull a Yasharaj with the Yasharaj, the second Yasharaj doesn't Yasharaj.
Exactly.
I had to use that as a word there.
But then the next turn, both Yasharajas could Yasharaj into Blood.
Yeah, and then the turn after that, the Blood.
That's when the fusion would happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they can't do it that specific turn. So by then you can take out 1 Blood. Or just concede because there's 2 Yasharajas, 2 Bloods, and a Barnes on the board.
Well, one of the Yasharajas is a 1/1, but...
Still. And probably Lich King too, because the other Yasharaj had to pull something. Oh wait, the
first Yasharaj pulled the second Yasharaj, and then the turn after they both pulled Blood.
The second Yasharaj doesn't Yasharaj. Right?
Because I'm running 2 Bloods all of a sudden.
Exactly. But it would work. You could also probably do it with the Shaman somehow, with the summon copies.
Yeah, I mean the Spellstone, definitely.
Oh, quiz. What happens if you get 3 or more Bloods of the Ancient Ones on the board?
Do you even know the answer?
I think I do. I think I saw that sometime.
I want to say it still creates 1, because if you have 2, it also creates 1, so I... Nah.
So, but if there's 3, do all of them fuse into 1?
I'm gonna say either all of them fuse into 1, or 2 of them fuse and the third one just stays.
I think that's what happens. I think 2 of them fuse and the first one stays. And if you...
What happens if you play the Voltron's head thing, though?
Which does what?
Okay, I don't actually know what it's called right now, but, so... There's this mech from way back when, I think it's called Swiss Gnomes, where it's like, if you control 4 mechs, summon Voltron.
Okay.
I think it actually destroys the mechs and then summons Voltron. So you could, if you have 2 of those guys, which are legends, but, shenanigans can happen, I think you could maybe summon 2 Voltrons, because they both trigger simultaneously. They take the mechs away, and itself, and then it summons Voltron.
What is Voltron?
Oh god.
Is it good?
I think is that thing that has Mega Wind Fury?
It might be the thing with Mega Wind Fury, I don't know.
It's been a while.
That would be pretty neat. But Shaman could try, get 4 Bloods out there. Yeah. Sounds like gang members, not the gang, not the gang, not the Bloods.
The Bloods.
The Bloods gang. You know what? I mean, there's already too many gang members in Hearthstone showing up. They're already multiplying. We don't need that.
Yeah, actually had a fun thing happen with a warrior where he just played double Serenade Chain Gang.
Yeah.
And I was like, tough. Dude, I've got a Foe Reaper on the board. The Foe Reaper attacks adjacent dudes as well, like the Hydra. So it's just like, okay, I killed 3 of them with 1 attack.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
I mean, that's what they're good for. The Cave Fighter is also great.
Yeah, and the weapon for the Garrosh, which you also had at the time.
Yeah. It's the same effect. That effect still doesn't have a name specifically.
I think the wiki called it Cleave or something like that, but I'm not.
Cleave.
It's still better than Elusive.
Maybe you should call Elusive is awful. Maybe you should call it Range. Something like that. Anyway, let's do the fact of the week, man. Those were good puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about Hearthstone a bit after that because
it doesn't matter. Let's do the fact of the week. What is your fact of the week?
My fact of the week actually is that we might have kind of mentioned it to the side, but we never really talked about it. We still have a video that we recorded way back when.
Oh, we have some of those.
So we have some audio that we recorded a while ago.
Well,
that you actually put a lot of work into editing.
Oh yeah, I know which one.
That we never actually released thus far. So I'm basically using this fact of the week segment to tease that thing is coming soon.
Yeah, are we gonna give a hint? Chess.
Sure.
Chess.
That's about it, though.
That's the hint. My fact of
I'm
the
gonna try getting it out next week.
Alright, cool. My fact of the week is... I was actually thinking about that specific thing before... Okay. My fact of the week is... In Alaska, it is illegal to look at a moose from an airplane. When you're in an airplane over Alaska, it is illegal for you to look at a moose. Fact.
Be careful about that one. You don't want to get arrested on that.
Yeah, you don't want that. You
don't want that in your criminal record.
There might be a police officer in the damn plane, and he's like, no. And then you're moving to a new neighborhood, and you have to ring all your neighbors' doorbells and tell them that you're a moose observer. No, you don't want that. That's basically like the sex offender type thing.
Actually brings up a tough question, though. To get called out on doing that, I mean, of course, they're probably not going to enforce it anyways, but if you were to get called out on doing that, someone would have to observe you observing that moose.
Yeah.
To observe you, they would have to be on the plane because from the ground they basically can't see you. And to know that you were observing a moose, they would have to see the moose themselves.
Exactly.
That would call someone out, and it would be self-incrimination to begin with.
But then again, imagine someone breaking and entering, and you see them from afar, and you follow them to pull them out of the house again. You think you're also going to be charged for breaking and enter, or for illegally entering the property?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
But the situation is different, though. Because once someone broke in, at least the breaking part, the entering part, okay, sure, but but you can't unobserve something, but at the same time, multiple people can observe. Oh god, I'm not gonna get into that.
Maybe it's like, are you looking at a moose? It's just like, oh my god, you're getting arrested.
Yeah, but basically you have to get the person to confess without looking at the moose yourself.
Yeah. Maybe if you stick your head out of the window, which you can't do, by the way, when it's airplane. But are you technically in the airplane? I don't know.
Yes.
Your head, your brain, the way you're observing with your eyes and your brain, right?
Yes, but at the same time, if
the majority of your physical weight,
if you want to make an argument about, for example, like driving, it's probably one of the either ones. But it's like, you did this while driving. You can't do this in cars. But my hand was no.
Yeah, my hands wasn't on the wheel, so it's cool.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I was going 80 in a 25, but my hands wasn't on the wheel, so it's cool. Yeah.
I wasn't actually driving.
Exactly. I also just put a brick on the pedal, so I wasn't doing nothing.
Which is probably illegal in its own right. Most definitely it's illegal in some way.
Also the hands of the wheel and everything. Alright. That was fact of the week. Let's do the second topic, but I'm opening a bottle of this soft drink first.
So, when you're creating a D&D character, you're making the choice of a race and class and background, which is probably the biggest choice in that character's thing
race,
that you're
class,
making.
background.
But
human fighter or soldier.
But
so far.
Once you're playing the game, you're going to level up. And you're going to get to make some other choices along the way. Now, the people who get to make the most choices are spellcasters.
Right.
Because they get new spells at every level, basically. And then they can pick their spells. Now, you don't get as much choice as a fighter, but you still get to choose your martial archetype. And then, depending on which one you pick, you might get some additional choices in there.
Alright. Fighter, by the way, is the equivalent to a Hearthstone warrior, right?
Yes.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm decarbonating this drink, so, you already know the noise.
Didn't we already make the comparisons between classes? Like,
possible.
Like a
Range is a hunter.
Yeah.
Paladin is a paladin. Yes, we did.
So, I also completely forgot about paladins when I listed classes the first time around. Yeah, that happened. I think I also forgot about monks, but that's...
Who plays those anyway?
Paladins or monks?
Paladins are monks?
Paladins or monks.
No, just monks.
Who plays those?
Who plays monks?
I've got a player in my game who plays a monk.
It's weird.
They're pretty cool.
Monk. I'm gonna see him on your birthday probably because he's gonna show up.
They can hit people a lot.
Alright. They do karate.
Yeah, basically,
chopping wood.
So, they, for example, they have a feature where they can just, like, if they use a point, like a key point, which they have as many as levels of, they can basically, as a bonus action, just hit you twice.
That's good.
So then they also get the same amount of attacks as a fighter would of the same level. So, at level 4, starting at level 5, they can already attack 4 times in a single turn.
That's a lot.
Which, to be fair, a fighter can technically attack 5 times in a single turn at level 5, but not as often.
Alright. So, you wanted to get into my character?
Yes, because you get to choose at level 3, you get to choose your martial archetype, which is basically a subclass.
Okay.
And while you're still getting, beyond that, you're still getting a lot of your generic fighter abilities that every fighter gets.
Yes.
That's where it gets a bit more specific, which is also why the higher the level, the more the characters start differing.
Right.
So there is in the player's handbook, there is 3 different fighter subclasses, and there is 3 in a relatively new book called Xenothar's Guide to Everything.
Alright.
And there is 1 in the Soul
You got that book right here.
Yes.
I literally got it in my hand right now. That's what that book is.
And there is 1 in the Soul Cross.
Can you hear that? That's the book. That's the book right there. Alright, continue.
There's also 1 in the Soul Cross Adventurer's Guide, which you're probably not going to pick up right now, because at the bottom of the stack.
Oh. It's there, trust me. I'm not going to pick it up, but it's there.
Which my player's handbook actually isn't, but that's a whole different point. And basically I was going to try to quickly present to you the different archetypes.
That I can pick for my fighter specifically.
Yeah, so that then you can decide...
So I'm already prepared.
Which one you want to take. You don't necessarily have to make your choice right now. Yeah. But I definitely want you to say...
Once the game gets there.
What you're leaning towards, because otherwise it's not as interesting of a topic anymore.
Right, sure. So what do you got?
So, let's start with the basics. And that would, of course, be the player's handbook.
When did I get to choose my skin color? I mean, yeah, okay, player's handbook.
Technically, you can choose that when at character creation. You just didn't.
Okay.
Because
I don't see color. Because it doesn't matter what type of skin you are. Because
as a matter of fact, I also don't see color. At least not in the dark.
And you don't see nothing in the dark.
Well, I do, but you don't.
Oh, you talk. Oh, okay.
Dark vision.
The characters. I was just thinking the real lives. All right.
I'm not colorblind.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck.
That's gotta suck. Never know when it stop on traffic lights.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
because the thing gets brighter, and you know from the position which one it is. But yeah.
Okay, so continue.
The first one is the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Who, you know how when you roll a 20, you get a critical hit?
Sounds kind of nice, yes.
The champion, starting at 3rd level when you pick it, you actually get to have a critical hit on a 19 or 20.
Alright.
And then later at level 15...
So then I can re-attack.
Yes, because of your feat.
Okay. And then at 15?
And 15, it's from 18 to 20.
Alright, so it happens... Well, it happens a bit more.
And of course, a crit automatically hits, even if technically the roll plus bonus wouldn't normally hit.
Yeah.
That increases both your hit rate. Because of the Great Weapon Master, it increases your number of attacks. And of course, when you're doing critical hit, which I don't think has ever happened in the thing yet. Has it?
For you. Not for me.
You
did one, I didn't.
Oh yeah, right, I did a crit hit. Might have even done 2, I don't know. But you get to roll double the dice.
So I get to roll 4 times? With my greatsword?
So for your greatsword, you would get 4d6.
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
Tough.
Which, by the time you're level 15, is probably not going to be plus 3, but probably plus 4 or plus 5, but yeah.
That's pretty good.
You also, at level 18, which is already almost maximum level, your character starts regenerating when he's under half health.
Okay.
And there is one more feature there. I'm not going to go too in-depth on all of them, but there's one more feature there that doesn't do too much, but that you probably will like, because it's called Superior Athlete.
Yeah! I like that.
It basically just adds a small bonus to your athletics and acrobatics checks and that kind of stuff.
I like that.
If you're not proficient in them already.
Alright.
which, interestingly enough, it adds half your proficiency bonus to all, I believe, strength and dexterity-based skills that you're not already proficient with.
Yeah.
Which is funny because as a bard at 2nd level, which this superior athlete, I believe, happens at 7th level or something like that, but at 2nd level, when I'm, as a bard, I get Jack of all trades, which lets me add half my proficiency to all skills I'm not proficient with.
That's good.
But anyways, that's one.
That's the champion.
That's a champion.
There was something with the weapons again, right?
What?
There was some other one with weapon or something like that. Weapon superstar or something like that. Wasn't there? Just continue.
No.
I think there was.
There is the Battle Master.
Alright.
Who has a feature, or one of his key features is that he gets so-called combat maneuvers, which are special attacks or actions that he can take. For example, let me start from a different angle. You get superiority dice.
Superiority dice. Do you get different dice?
That's just a term that they use for a pool of dice that you have that you can use for said combat maneuvers.
Alright.
And basically you can only use the combat maneuvers as much as you have dice.
Okay.
You start off with 3, so you can do 3. I believe they recharge on a short rest, which means that if you rest after a fight, you basically can do all of them again.
Yeah.
And you can pick some maneuvers out, and then you can use those during the fight. Kind of similar to how spellcasters can use spells.
Yeah.
But of course yours are more based on your actual training and martial prowess. So, I wrote down some of them, but not all of them because there's a lot to pick from.
Yeah.
One of them allows you to disarm your opponent, so they drop their weapon.
That's good.
Which is kind of good. One you can use that, then while moving you can use one to increase your armor class by the roll of your superiority die. Which I believe, it starts out being a D8, so you're already getting...
I'm already at 18 now, right?
You're at 16.
Or 16, yeah. So I'm rolling 5 and 21.
So you're basically on average getting then an armor class of 21, as long as you're moving for that turn.
Yeah. Which,
to be fair, only means that if you're running along a lot of people, you know how they get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah.
That those attacks are hard to hit you if you're using this.
Okay.
And then there is another one which lets you, when you make an attack, you can, instead of making an attack, you can basically tell an ally to make an attack.
Alright.
And then they also add a bonus to that. So that's basically, your whole thing is mastering specific maneuvers that you can use a limited number of times, and otherwise you're just a standard fighter.
Okay.
While the champion, as I previously said, he's basically about increasing his crit range and basically maximizing damage output.
Yeah, sounds good.
While Battlemaster is more utilitarian. And then you've got the Eldritch Knight, which is the third and final one from the player's handbook,
Alright.
who gets some spells.
Jesus.
So he basically gets spell slots, and thereby basically uses of spells, equal to about a third that wizard would get of the same level.
Okay.
So basically, if you would pick that level 3, you would get as many spells as a wizard, or bard for that matter, would get level 1.
Yeah.
So they also have some other abilities that basically allow them to combine spellcasting and weapon fighting a bit better. And it's about all that they do.
Alright.
It doesn't sound like a lot because there's not as much to explain there.
But then there's new spells and they gotta learn those.
Yeah.
So, to me, I'm probably gonna try to keep it simple during the first game because this is my first game. So probably champion.
Again, there's still 4 more options because those were just the standard ones. I'm not exactly sure what options our Dungeon Master is gonna allow, but I'm pretty sure that all of those are gonna be allowed.
All right. Well, then I'll know.
So there is the Arcane Archer, which, as the name suggests, is about magic archery.
Yeah, that's not really my thing.
And they shoot magical arrows, and they basically are all about improving the archery, which, again, I don't think is your thing, because
I don't even have anything.
Your entire build is kind of spec'd around fighting with a heavy melee weapon. So the greatsword is basically the perfect weapon for you, because you also have the fighting style for great weapon fighting, which allows you to reroll 1s and 2s.
Yes.
So you want to roll a lot of dice.
Exactly.
Which, if you're using a bow, you're just going to roll 1 die as opposed to 2 for the sword. And then also your Great Weapon Master, where you can attack again on a crit.
Yeah.
Only applies to melee weapons.
Yes.
So basically, this one doesn't work too well with your build.
So nice.
There is the Cavalier.
Cavalier. Does he play basketball? Is his name LeBron James? You don't get it.
Both of those, not necessarily.
Alright.
And if his name were to be LeBron James, you would have had to pick that at first level, not at third.
True.
Although you probably could legally change your name if you really wanted to.
Maybe. My character's already picked after great athlete. Already named after great athlete, so that's cool.
And the Cavalier is all about 2 things, which is mounted combat.
On horseback?
Yeah. Well, for example,
yes.
You could also be riding a giant wolf.
A rat.
Well, it would have to be pretty giant for a rat to work, but
or a Meepo.
Yeah. He's a bit too small for that. Meepo's shorter than you. That kind of doesn't work.
Doesn't matter if it breaks his back. It doesn't matter.
Well, mechanically speaking, I think to ride a creature it would have to be one size category larger than you, where a kobold is one size category smaller than you.
Alright, doesn't matter.
But, yeah.
I get it, yeah. What else?
And the other thing is battlefield control. So it matters a lot where you position yourself. So you can, normally you can get 1 attack of opportunity between your turns, but at a higher level he can basically per turn get 1 attack of opportunity. Not per your turn, but per everyone's turn. So you can attack a lot more outside of your turn if enemies move past you. So you can also, there's small bonuses like when you attack someone, then they get disadvantage if they try to attack someone else, something like that.
That's all a bit more complicated though.
So yeah, it's the battlefield control type of guy. There is the Samurai.
No.
That's what I thought. He actually gets to give himself advantage 3 times a day. Basically means he can roll twice and take the better one.
Yeah.
And then at higher levels, he can actually, when he would get advantage through any source, he can instead just make 2 attacks.
Alright.
Which is kind of cool because if you have advantage, basically, the likelihood that you're hitting is the same that if you're making 2 normal attacks, would be likely that at least one of them hits.
Yeah.
So you're basically not losing anything.
I'm probably not going to pick it. I'm going to say that right now.
And one of the cooler things he gets actually is he gets proficiency in wisdom saving throws.
Yeah. I could have used that for the orb.
Yeah. Which is one of the good saves. It comes up a lot. And there's basically no way to get extra saving throw proficiencies for the most part. You can take a feat that does that, but...
It's just as a fighter or general?
In general.
Okay.
Usually you start with 2 and that's usually what you're stuck with.
Yeah. Okay. There's one more, right?
There is one more. And that is the Purple Dragon Knight.
Why does it have to be purple?
That is based upon the lore of the world where it comes from, which is the Forgotten Realms, which we're also playing in. But
and that does what?
The Purple Dragon Knight is all about support. Support character, which is basically your whole shtick is that you're using the abilities you would normally use on yourself. You can also, while using them on yourself, basically use them to also buff your allies.
Okay.
So, for example, you know how you have Second Wind?
Yeah.
Which allows you to heal.
I can give that to someone else.
So, when you use your Second Wind, you can also heal any allies within a certain radius by points equal to your level. In addition to what you're healing.
That's not bad.
So, basically, you're healing 1d10 plus your level, while they only heal your level.
Alright.
Which is...
Yeah.
At higher levels, the d10 is...
I got one question, though. Does your your maximum health go up at some point? Or
yes.
Does it okay.
Every level.
By what factor?
So, for you, that would be 1d10 plus your constitution modifier.
Oh, I'm gonna roll that, too?
Yes, you're gonna roll that.
Oh, that seems important.
That is kind of important, which sucks if you're repeatedly rolling low on your health.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a low constitution modifier and you're not getting that much static bonus. For you, I believe you're getting a +3, so...
Yeah.
On average, you're basically getting 8 hit points per level.
That's good.
Wait, do you have a plus? Wait, no. You have 12 hit points, right?
Yeah.
So you have a +2 on Constitution.
Okay.
Oh, right, because you're a human, so you don't actually get the +2 to one stat. So you couldn't get both 16 Strength and Constitution, so we picked Strength and gave you 15 Constitution.
Alright.
I remember that.
We'll see when I roll that. So all of that happens at what level again? 3?
Level 3.
Okay.
Which still is a bit, but then again,
We'll
with us piling all the encounters from one dungeon into one single encounter, we may just skip level 2. I don't know.
Yeah. We're gonna shred up all those kobolds.
You know how a lot of
goblins, bastards.
You know, a lot of those enemies give 25 XP divided by the amount of people that were involved in killing them, which would make that roughly 8 XP per person.
So kill like 12 people and you level up.
And it's 300 XP for level 2 and 900 for level 3. But we've already killed like 10 of them or something like that.
So we should also be level 2 already, but we stopped.
Not quite, but...
Well, we were already at 33.
66.
66 even, okay.
And by what we've killed thus far, we probably will be around 100 to 150 with our total.
And wait, and so the guy, like Joe's keeping notes of all of that? Like he's writing all this down?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, being the Dungeon Master is definitely the most work.
That's a hell of a lot of work. Jesus Christ. Okay.
And that is him running a pre-built adventure that was printed in a book.
So you could also
write his own.
Yeah, and then
it
takes
even more work.
Yeah, because then you need to adjust for everything, right? You need to come up with stuff on the fly when stuff doesn't go your way.
Oh, trust me, you also have to do with pre-written stuff. Because they can't account for everything.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see that. Alright, so we'll play that next time, and maybe we'll report back in the podcast and then talk about more stuff. Let's get into the song of the week. What is your song of the week? Because we need to leave the people on a high note.
And a bad musical pun. My song of the week actually is there for 2 reasons, or technically there's a lot of reasons why it could be there, but there's 2 specifically.
What is the first reason, and then can I guess the second one?
The first reason is that it is related to our channel's history by having been used in a video title once.
Yeah, okay, I cannot guess the second reason.
In a somewhat important one as well. And then the second one is just that while I don't think we necessarily underrate the song, we don't mention it a lot because there are others that are mentioned more because they are better.
Is it by any chance Bon Jovi?
Yes.
Is it by any chance Blaze of Glory?
It's What Do You Got?
It's What Do You Got? Okay. Do we reference it all the time, dude?
We do reference it somewhat for the lyrics sometimes.
All the time.
But I feel like it always gets lost when we're actually discussing music.
Alright.
Because you always bring up...
It's not really Kershaw effect, though, because Bon Jovi's already...
I never claimed it to be.
Yeah.
But when you bring up songs like, it's always like, these are the top 4 Bon Jovi songs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's not a top 4 Bon Jovi song.
Exactly.
Right.
So whenever we're discussing that kind of stuff, when we're discussing top songs or song verse and that kind of stuff, this one never seems to come up.
Yeah, it's a top 8.
And it was in the title of our very first Life is Strange video.
That being the first ever Before the Storm video.
Yeah.
True.
So, for those 2 reasons, I picked the song. It's not necessarily underrated as much as it's just, in musical debates, not mentioned as much because of the better Bon Jovi songs.
Yeah, because it's better Bon Jovi songs. It's a tier 2.
Which still makes it one of the better songs overall.
It's a good... I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a good song. I'm not sure if it's a good or a great song, but it's definitely up there and probably closer to great than decent. If it's in the good category. So... my song of the week is Streets of London by Ralph McTell, specifically that version, because that's the version that I got and the one that I like most. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
But for a split second there, my brain, you know how your brain auto-completes things that other people say before they say it sometimes?
Streets of Philadelphia, you were thinking? Alright. It's not Streets of Philadelphia. Maybe it's going to be at some point, even though it's a good song. Bruce. Shout out to the Mr. Springsteen. Streets of London by Ralph McTell. I've been hearing that more or less coincidentally, listening to that quite a lot in the car over the last 2 weeks, and so that's stuck in my head. little bit. And I kind of like the lyrics. So there's a lot of
You know how there's a
stuff
London
there.
in Ontario, Canada?
You know how there's Berlin in Oregon?
Fair.
You know how, like...
Yeah, I know a lot of those.
Over like the majority of cities in North America are named like somewhere closely after cities in Europe.
It's either the name of a pre-existing city or new plus the name of a pre-existing city.
Like Frankfurt is the capital of Kentucky, right? It's named after
Yeah.
Frankfurt in Germany. And there's
As a matter of fact, there's 2 Frankfurts in Germany.
Right. There probably is more than that too. You don't know how many Berlins there are in America.
There's also a bunch of Romes.
There's a bunch of them.
Because pilgrimages.
There's a lot of Rome.
Because they had to make them to Rome. But they never specified which Rome. So they just made up their own Romes.
I mean,
that's a thing.
I mean, there's several actually famous Hollywoods and Orlandos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's the songs of the week. Go listen to them. Let us know what you think about the podcast, our entire Dungeons and Dragons debate, and the Hearthstone stuff, man. The quizzes. If you got specific answers, like alternate answers, let us know. And if you got a good riddle too, like any lethal puzzle or any sort of thing that we did, put it in the comments. We always love those.
If you want a suggestion for a riddle, I'm gonna suggest
Shut
the
up.
riddle by Nick.
I knew you was gonna do that. Thank you for listening, JJ.
That's it.
That's it.